All right, so the long-awaited Blade trailer is out, and I want to do a breakdown of his abilities. Obviously, I've reacted to this video already because I got early access to it. Shaw being a Marvel Rivals partner, thank you. But yeah, from just quick glance, it looks like he is slightly a bruiser. I could be wrong. I think he leans more into the bruiser archetype just because of how it looks like his abilities work. But I'm not entirely sure. That is obviously just breakdown video type stuff that I've looked at. So he has 6 abilities, primary, secondary, and then 4 abilities. He's got 2 weapons clearly, so you can see he's got his I'm gonna assume this is a crossbow gun, but vampire stuff. I don't know exactly what kind of gun that's gonna be. And then his melee giant sword, which you seen in a lot of the promo stuff already. 350 HP, that's a lot for a dive. So like I said, I can't assume he's going to be a dive if he's going to have 350 HP. That's a lot. Plus, with what the abilities are doing, it does not seem very likely that he would be a dive character. I'm just going to the more I get more details into what I've seen his abilities can do, the less it's going to make sense that he's a dive and he's probably a bruiser. So we'll keep going, right? So first ability is his secondary, right? Well, actually, no, that means I'm wrong. So he would not have 6 abilities. He's got 5. Primary, secondary. The secondary probably does something different with the crossbow out, but we'll see what that is in a second. So then he might have 6 abilities. Math, whatever. He's got this little meter, again, blocks. Probably decreases incoming damage. It looks like, he still gets hit by whatever Mantis is throwing at him. His damage is being taken here. And it's got a lasting meter. So obviously once this meter ends, he can probably start using it again. But it looks like it's got like a Captain America shield kind of cooldown. You can only use it but so long and then stop, and then you kind of have to wait for the ability to come back up again. So he's in the process of using his second ability, Shift. It looks like just your average dash ability towards an enemy. But then it does this spinning axle sort of ability that deals a lot of damage. It looks like it takes basically half our HP. But it's probably only going to do that on contact, I would assume. You're just not going to get that slash, that series of slashes unless you hit, right? So then his melee attacks basically looks like a 4-hit combo. Go back to this. Yep, and then it'll reset. So then immediately he goes into his gun form, which from the looks of the crosshair, it looks like it's going to be something that deals more damage close range. It is very clearly hit scan. By the looks of the crosshair, based on whatever archetype you're playing, the default crosshair changes. If you've customized yours, this doesn't apply to you, but whatever. So usually the circle indicated crosshairs are things like shotguns. So Psylocke, Punisher, shotgun, obviously weapons that do more damage up close. But he can headshot, so we keep going, right? And so he's got the dash still, but instead with the gun out, he basically dashes and then just does a quick shot afterward. Not sure what the difference in that versus the sword's going to be. The sword looked like it did way more damage. But again, there's probably like a knockback or something associated with using the gun. But it looks like, right? So his right click actually still here is the sword using a shield ability for his gun. So the gun does not have a different ability. It's actually just using that same sword shielding ability, but instead having the gun out, right? So most of the stuff I've seen is him in combat with tanks. So there's going to be like some small stuff against DPSs and healers. But like I said, I'm still thinking he's going along the bruiser route. But this is the most interesting ability I've seen so far, right? So he's got his 4th ability here. He's got a team up. Oh, I think that's a Moon Knight team up. That's probably going to be the same thing. Anyway, his 4th ability, you see he'll pop it, and then he'll get like a temporary little icon that pops up, and it goes up every time he does more hits with his melee weapon. But what it also does is you'll see this little marker appear next to his HP, and you could see that any of the damage he deals is also just gonna be healing him. So you'll see he's basically able to just like stand here in combat with her and just fight directly because he's got this like vampirism active, right? So that's why I'm like so stuck on this. He's probably a bruiser. Like there's no way that anything else kind of makes sense based on the way he's fighting, right? And he's obviously tearing through the 2 of them, but it's not like he's tearing through them and doing a lot of damage like immediately. A lot of this is kind of like consistent, what's the word? Damage over time. MVP, always dope. So he's got his dash, right? So his dash doesn't hit anyone here. So he just dashes up into Sky, and he's about to pop the ultimate, which, man, this ultimate is so cool. So just does massive damage in an area. And clearly this does like nothing crowd control related. So it looks like he kind of dashes through a generic area, and then you'll see leaves like a trail here that anyone in this area with this trail is just going to take damage over time. So similar to like a Psylocke ultimate, but obviously he's not standing in it anymore. He's, you know, free reign, right? And so this one is probably where it looks the most interesting. And I was so confused, right? So he's doing the normal stuff, and then he's charging the ultimate this time, right? So right now you kind of see these invisible lines that are probably going to dictate where that's going to do the damage over time. So things like hallways, this is probably going to be a banger ultimate. So charges it, activates the ultimate. And even with the Loki lamp up here, you'll see it's just going to demolish all the people in this area. And it might even actually stun. I'm not sure. Yeah, maybe sort of a Emma Frost type of stun, where if you take enough hits, it'll stun you in it, but it didn't stun initially. Or maybe that's just Loki teleporting out and, you know, leaving the clone there. So yeah, that's the general idea from what I see how he's going to be played. Like, I think mostly scenarios like this is like, this is a little misleading. You're not really going to be doing a lot of like backline stuff unless you really obviously have nothing better to do. He doesn't seem crazy mobile, like no double jump kind of thing. He does have a dash which has 2 charges, but I haven't seen on the video at any point when he uses both charges. I can't get a real grasp of how many or how long the cooldown is to kind of get that dash back. It looks probably about 10 seconds if I could like really count that down and figure out what that timer is. Yeah, so you see it finally goes down once there. Other than that, I'd be interested to know like what his passive might do, because it doesn't look like anything melee related does anything for his cooldowns. I would love to know what this 10 hits adds up to. Probably increases the power of however much, you know, HP he gains when he's using attacks. So it's probably one of those abilities, you pop it, you want to stay really active in combat, you know, it builds up over time, kind of like Emma Frost. So he's got a lot of cool mechanics for sure. I'm gonna watch the trailer one more time in slow motion just because I'm curious if there's anything that I might have missed. Yeah, so he actually has 2 swords, not just one. So I'm guessing the one on his back is for his ultimate, and he's usually using the one in the front, right? Yeah, so pretty straightforward, it looks like. I haven't seen anything like crazy animation cancel related. I mean, the block seems like you may have some opportunities around that, but even then, most of what I'm seeing, you know, in a real life scenario, being like that long in front of an Emma Frost is a horrible idea. You'll just get grabbed and then chokeslam. But yeah, I haven't mentioned how hard I think the skin looks. I have no idea what his secondary skin's going to be, but it does look like it's probably going to be the Phoenix related skin, which is dope. But yeah, the ultimate does look like it'll probably have 2 different capabilities or farming. So yeah, I think that's Blade, and man, I'm excited for it because even as someone who kind of has picked up bruisers a little bit, I've been playing a lot of Iron Fist, and obviously Wolverine gets banned out in quite literally every ranked match you could ever play, and added on top of Black Panther being banned in every game, there's going to be a lot of, you know, opportunity to hopefully play this, because he doesn't have any very clear crowd control. He's just dealing damage, and he's got a lot of survivability. So what I think is going to be his counter is crowd control, obviously, but even then, he's gonna have a lot of like survivability kind of more along the lines of, you know, using Iron Fist. But yeah, that is the breakdown from what I can see so far. Again, I'm going to be playing a lot of Blade on my channel, so be on the lookout for that going forward. And if you guys enjoyed the video, please make sure you like, subscribe, and check out the live streams. I'm live on YouTube and TikTok. So Saturdays, Sundays, and Tuesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So y'all be blessed, be safe, and I will see you on the battlefield.